Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today, and want to tell everyone out there a very happy Easter, and for you Italian folks, a Buona Pasqua. And Brian, happy Easter to you.
You too, buddy, as well, and everybody else out there. Beautiful Sunday here in Hollandale Beach, so stop by and say hi if you're around.
Yeah, you know, we got a fast-made track, firm turf course, and we have, what, $75,000? Jackpot guarantee, gross guarantee in the Rainbow Six, which is races 5 through 10.
Yeah, and it's a good day to get involved because there are some tricky races. The first one to lead off the sequence in race 5 on the turf, a maiden special weight with a lot of different ways you can go in there. I'll be interested to see your ticket, $75,000 and counting. It grows quickly, but get involved. We saw someone sweep it on day one of the Royal Palm meet on Thursday, and it's out there to be taken.
Got $42,000 that day, so that takes care of all the early stuff that we have to take care of, so we'll get right into the action. About 5.5 on the Tapeta. These are claiming fillies 3 or 4 and up, non-winners of 2 in lives, and had a scratch at the number 4 Lady Ocean. And Brian's got his early pick 5 ticket that I'm going to check out right now.
Very, very few significant scratches on the card today, so everything for me, ticket-wise, held intact. Ron, 2 deep here, 3 deep in race 2 at number 7. Sugar Sin on top. Here's your single. She's the North in race 3, and then a 3x4 double to get out of the sequence. I go down to the inside. Big Martini. I've got a feeling Big Martini is going to be a strong favorite based on those works or Rohan Crichton. In race number 5, I go very well 4 deep in here, and I'm down inside again. Image of Love might get loose for Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, Todd Pletcher, Edgar Zayas will be in the saddle for that one. Getting to this first race, the current 8-5 Noble Dream. I want to go back and show you the race. There's a couple of horses that raced against each other, so we're going to pick it up with Noble Dreamer and Juno C. They've been dueling for the lead. You can see the guys upstairs do a great job. You can see they were dueling for the lead throughout. So it's just how the race plays out, and you see going now. Juno C. Noble Dreamer just fighting on, and then you say, well, where's this other horse,
right.
Temetry? And this one's going to close up on the rail. You're going to see coming up on the inside. I think it was a good performance. Now, Juno C, after all of that, fades to 4th. But the 8 holds on, and it's right there at the wire, you know. And here comes the 6 on the inside. Now, they get beat by Vigilana, but they all ran well. I thought the 8 ran the best of the horses I'm showing here.
I like these replays, and I've shown these kind of replays in the past, too, because you're right, and I agree with what Ron just said. The 8 ran the best race. Those are the horses doing the dirty work.
Right.
And Juno C, now, to his credit, he ran well, too, but he's kind of sitting back watching it all unfold while everybody else is doing the hard work in front of him and for him. Who ran the better race? To me, it was pretty obvious that it was Noble Dreamer.
Yeah, and you did go with the number 2, Waka on top of here, and that's that place in Mexico.
Yeah, this is a, well, I don't know about that, but this is a horse that I've used in the past, and just, she has not gotten over the hump, but now we're going to go off the claim for Victor Barboza Jr., and that's a 26% angle. He does so good with that, and I think she's a player because she does not have to improve much, if at all, to get there.
You know, getting back to that race, the number 9 horse was on that. There was the 6 that day who ran up on the inside in that 2 lifetime claim of going 5 the ladder. I just think this horse has license to grab a share in there today.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're, you know, especially the quicker they go early, the more likely it is she's going to run on late. The 5.5, she gets an extra half furlong to work with too. You just saw the replay. Give her a half furlong extra that day. She's going to be right there. We'll bring up a big stat on the 5 Juno C before we flip the page here. It's a Amador Sanchez. This surprised even me, Ron. I know this is a high percentage barn, a barn that does good things here. 31% to PETA sprints at Gulfstream Park. A big number with a big ROI.
You got the apprentice Angel Morales. So lots of different ways to go in that first race there, and 8-5 on that number 8. But Brian makes a great point. Your horse is taking a ton of money in there too. The number 2 horse. Race 2 is going to be 5.5 furlongs on the fast main track. Maiden claiming fillies and mares 3 and up. 25,000. No scratches. Jockey changes in here. And Brian, I'll start it off here with the number 2 horse, and that is Cajun Fantasy, who's turning back to 5.5 furlongs. Want to go and show you this horse's last race. Just going to pick it up from the 8th pole home. She is the number 2 horse that day, and she's cruising there. But if you watch at the wire, she's on a left lead here as she comes to the stretch, and here comes a horse from downtown Brooklyn who's going to catch this horse on the wire here. And it just comes down. Just you see that she was just laboring a little bit in the stretch, and she gets nailed at the wire by the 4 horse in there, and just at the wire on the left lead. So I wanted to show that. I put this one on top. Thought maybe this horse would run well with the turn back to 5.5.
Yeah, we get the second time Lasix as well. admittedly don't like seeing horses blow big open length leads last time. I used her. Let's take a look at Samantha's early pick 4 ticket.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and we'll see if who she used in this, and she'll be up with us. Okay, there you go, Ronnie.
She's got Cajun Fan. Yeah, she's got a nice $12 ticket. Race number 3. She's got some coverage. She's got Sandpiper Memories. She's got also, what's that? The number 6 horse in there, and then the number 3. In race number 4, she went 3 and 7 in the last race. Like you, she's got the same coverage, I think, that you have in race number 5.
That race 5 that's the separator, not only for the early 5 and 4, but the rainbow as well. I would suggest going as deep as you can, and with Samantha's $12 ticket, you can use a few more. It's not going to blow it up too much.
Especially if you like Cajun Fantasy. We just showed you that you did go with Sugar Sanders, turn it back to 5.5 too.
You know, Ron, I feel like she's on the improve, and she's only run 3 times. Now the blinkers are going to go on for Claudio Gonzalez. Now here's a barn, a little slower during the championship meet, and I don't necessarily think that's a big surprise. Now Claudio, I think, could really tighten the screws a little bit here. 3rd start off the claim. She has moved forward in her last 2. Today might be the over the hurdle.
The number 1, Rational Kate, trained like Mike Yates, like Cajun Fantasy is. This one is dropping to 25 levels. Showed some speed in that race.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, because that was a maiden special weight she showed speed in. Well, her stablemate right to her outside's got a lot of speed too. Does something have to give between these two Mike Yates runners? It's another reason Sugar Sin to the outside I put on top.
Yeah, you could see how that's going to play out, and Rational Kate can be ridden by Miguel Vasquez this afternoon. And Mike Yates is pretty solid with this type of layoff. He's like 15%. So a horse you might want to put in your ticket, like Brian and I both did. I went with the 2. Brian went with the 7. Race 3 this afternoon is about 1 mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. Claim is Fillies and Mares, 4 and up, $16,000. Scratch the 4. The money factor started off with yours, Brian. The Cheese de Nord, who's going to the Jose D'Angelo barn today.
Yeah, and I think that's the big deal here. I mean, Jose is 25% off the claim. We've got the stat here, too, because I wanted to look into turf routes, or routes, excuse me, and that's what we're doing here. Jose off the claim. Tapeta routes, excuse me. 21% with a 244 ROI. So I think this is positive. And what does he do with a turf horse? Immediately going to run this horse on the Tapeta. So I think she's a huge, huge player in here. She hasn't tried the surface yet, Ron, but you see there that this is a barn that does very, very well.
The number 6, Sandpiper Memory, is going to change barns. Still going to go to the Bobby DeBona barn after claim, and going to go back to the Tapeta, which I like. Set the pace, yielded late when finishing 2nd. That was going 1 mile on the turf. This new connection's ready for this assignment. Look at that workout, that 5 furlong workout. Looks like he wanted to drill some speed into her.
Sure does. I mean, you're not going to see that often from a $16,000 claimer, blazing 59 and 4 on the main track. Bobby been a little slow this year so far. Going to have to claim off Jose D'Angelo and improve off Jose D'Angelo. Easier said than done, but Bobby does a good job in this kind of arena as well, 21%.
You know, we've been talking about Claudio Gonzalez. He's got the 3. Nana Fanny's a 3-time winner on the Tapeta. Drops, returns to that surface, faced tougher on the turf with really inconsistent results before going to the sidelines in February. He's good with the turf Tapeta angle, but what do you get today?
Well, that's the question mark. I mean, maybe getting back to the Tapeta is going to help her on the drop as well, but it's been a while since she's been competitive.
Yeah, I think the 3 and the 2 and the 6 are the way to go, probably in that race there. With that said, let's go to race number 4, and this one is 6 furlongs, maiden special weight, 3-year-olds. Now, please note that the number 1 Big Martini that we both have on top is listed as a gelding today. That just came in this morning, so he's a gelding. He's an 87,000 son of the Big Beast, debuting for Rohan Lasix. What a workout.
Yeah, a few of them, and the last one is off the charts. Favored on the line. I don't want to see this horse at 3-1. To me, he's like 7-5 in here, and if he's not taking a lot of money, I'd be surprised. You just see it there, and they paid $80,000 for the Big Beast, who stands for $2,000. Right. I know Samantha will get her out here a little bit later. She likes these geldings before they debut. It's sharpen them up, I guess. It's right all there in front of you, Ron. Let's bring up the stat I pulled up, too. I think this is significant, too, because who's aboard here today, Ronnie? Misiel is aboard. Now, I don't care about the ROI. Samantha and I talked about this the other day. I'm a horizontal exotics player. The 97-cent ROI is not going to scare me any. It's the 24% that I like, Ron. What's he got riding here, Ron? A speed gate rider. I got to believe this horse can fly.
Yeah, that work we were alluding to, 47-2, best time of 85 workers at the distance. You're getting the speed rider in there. The number 7, we're in agreement here with Power Humor, gets the nod on the previous experience angle, and when turning back to 3/4, track the pace, finished second. Second was behind that repeat winner, Ticking. So here's a horse that's had a run. Hey, look who's riding, Paco Lopez. What an afternoon he had yesterday.
Yeah, Paco and Saffie Joseph Jr. blowing up the Wood Memorial with Lord Miles at 59-1. We'll show it to you in a little bit later on the lightning round. Let's just talk about it now. Lord Miles wins the Wood. Kingsbarn wins the Louisiana Derby, the Grade 2. Tappet Trice wins the Grade 1 Bluegrass yesterday, won the Grade 2 Tampa Bay Derby about a month or so ago. All 3 horses you saw front and center during the championship meet here.
And Todd also has Forte, who won the Florida Derby right here. So, factor in. The Iceman Runneth, the number 3 is the son of Gervin, debuting for Saffie. Lasix, 12 Palmetto's workouts showing preparation. Some people like that.
Yep.
Me, I back off a little bit when I see 12 workouts.
Seems like a lot of them, right? And Samantha will be out there to talk a little bit more in depth about that. A couple of them are really sharp. The one at March 24th and March 17th. They paid $35 for a Gervin. These Gervins have been precocious as a young sire. We'll see what we get today. This is another tote board kind of horse. Watch it and see if it can kind of tell you where to go.
If you remember, go back last summer when we were talking about Saffie Joseph Jr. with first-time starters. He was always 14%, 13%. Now he's 21%.
Yeah.
So he's gotten that figured out, too, among everything else he's got figured out. So just something to point out there. Like I said, 21% with first-time starters. Edgar Zayas in the saddle. Take that short break. Come back with my Rainbow Six ticket with that $75,000 gross jackpot guarantee.
And they're off.
Welcome back to Gulfstream. Today, a couple of minutes before noon. Once again, happy Easter to everyone out there that celebrates Easter. Fifth race today is going to be 7.5 furlongs about distance on the firm turf course, maiden special weight fillies and mares, and it's going to kick off the Rainbow Six today. We'll show you my ticket real quickly, and then we'll get into this race in a couple of moments. I know you're against Nitrous Channel today. I heard you talking about it yesterday. I singled this horse.
Yeah.
I just think he might be the one to beat. Race number 7, top pick is Current Situation, Short Circuit, Serenade a Kitten. I think those are the logical 3. Just 2 for me. I like Carruthers. Boy, that horse surprised me each and every time, but I did use Iman. And then in race number 9, courses are banging heads again together. Claudette Air, Baby Steps, Musical Design. And in the last race, which I say to Brian every day, the 5-horse Gone Nuts, Grand Valley, and Harry's on the Beach.
Tricky sequence.
Yes.
You're going 4 deep in a finale. That's problematic. Your top pick, I don't have in a 4 deep race 5. So it's that type of sequence. You want to have a chance at sweeping this thing. This might be the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good. These are the days when you can hit this, like we said the other day. They hit it for $42,000. What's wrong with that?
Get me out of a little hole this week.
The 5, I'm glad. I'm just so interested in this horse. Is making a first start since trainer Mike Maker claimed her for $75,000. Now, she was the favorite that day, going a mile and a 16th on the Saratoga turf. Something happened that, they come back. But I want to go all the way back to last April, and I want to show you this horse's race from the 3/16 pole. Here's I'm Glad out there, 7 wide. And watch how good this horse runs. This is maiden special weight now at Keeneland at the spring meet. And this horse just runs its eyeballs out. And I'm trying to think that, Brian, maybe this was what Mike Maker was looking at all along.
So there's 2 questions here. Where you been is the first and obvious one, and that's part one of the equation, but the second part of the equation is now off that claim for 75 in the where you been in July.
Right.
She's not in for a tag today. She's running in a maiden special weight. Says to me, you better take notice here that we're okay and we've got a shot. Mike is 23% off the claim. You got Paco riding here. He's about 25%. Riding for Mike Maker. I'm spreading in this race, and she's firmly on my ticket, even though you don't see her on the screen there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so intriguing to me, the whole thing. What you did go with the one Image of Love.
I think she's loose, Ron. I didn't really like her debut. Seven furlongs.
Sorry.
7 furlongs on the main track. The winner was experienced, and she ran well that day. Now we stretch out. We're down inside. Second-time starter. We're going to get an extra turn. We're going to try the turf here as well. We've talked about this a lot. If you can clear on the lead here, you can get brave. I expect Image to Love to, at the very least, be on the point.
Probably on paper, the one to beat is the 4 Starship Boeing. This bar has been going so good. Turning back to 7.5, return from that extended layoff to finish second in front of a pair of next out winners going a mile on the grass. Steve Dwoskin, Lionel Reyes managing to jump up to special weight company. So maybe that's a little bit of the concern, but there's no world beaters in here.
No. She was your long shot, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, and Pillbox, I think, was about 3 to 5.
Yeah, right.
Ronnie's horse ran, and it looked like for a split second there, she might actually get it all that day. She ran very, very well. Now we're second off the elongated layoff. Steve, and this is Steve's time. Okay, he still had, he still picked his spots, won races during the championship meet. This is Steve's time here. You better take note.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it looked to me. That was a great way to kick off the Rainbow Six, as Brian said, because there's just so many different ways to go. That you're interested in my horse, you go with the one. How could you go wrong with Todd Pletcher? Race 6, 7 furlongs, allowance optional claim of 3 and up, or the optional tag of $62,500. And Samantha has a late pick 5 ticket. We're going to show you right now. She's got 2 deep in here, so that's good. Yeah, but I think the Nitrous Channel, she's got it on there. Yeah, race number 7, she's got some covered current situation. I know race 8, she went deep in there. I thought Carruthers might be the one to beat, but she's not thinking that. And then she's singling in race 10. Who's that number 3 horse in race 9?
Claudette Air.
Claudette Air. And then in race number 10, 4, 5, and 9. So she's gone nuts. Grand Valley on her ticket. $36 with the Claudette Air as the single.
I like Claudette Air too, not with as much strength as Samantha, apparently, but I do think she's in a good spot today, sitting off a lot of speed.
Well, we'll see how this race plays out here this afternoon. And I did go with Nitrous Channel. As you saw my Rainbow Six ticket, this was a single. Turning back to 7 furlongs after following a string of consistent sprint races with a trouble starting. Now, I went back. I was going to show this replay. It wasn't that much of a bobble. 1 mile, I mean, she did bobble, but she just recovered right away. But that was the grade 2 Gulfstream Park mile. George Weaver, he's good with the route to sprint, 21%. And I just thought, when I first looked at the PPs and not remembering the race, I said, this must have been the stumble of stumbles, and it wasn't.
No, I think either way, though, I think that was probably, in hindsight, a big ask for Nitrous Channel. Look at the top 3 horses. Endorse, Charge It, and Simplification. They'd be 1 to 100 in this race today. It's, to me, one or the other, right? And I feel like my best bet, Starship Renegade. Nitrous Channel is probably going to be in front. If they don't go with him, they'll never see him again. The worry for me is American Prince. His enraging form right now, and Liz Dobles claims him. He's got a lot of speed. He's not letting Nitrous Channel, to me at least, go.
And Starship Renegade is stretching out the additional half furlong. The one is your best bad boy. He's been posting some pretty good figures.
Yeah, he owes me nothing. He's been a long shot winner for me. He's been a best bet winner for me, and he's right back as a best bet winner today. You said the big figures. Steve Dwoskin's got this horse in such good form right now. And once again, I think he sits the right kind of trip. If you print it early, you're not going to see the italics in Gangley, but he went back and won again yesterday, and he's been in such good form. Starship Renegade, to me, at least on paper, and we don't run races on paper, but on paper, he's going to get all the best of it again today.
And American Prince, as you mentioned, goes to Liz's barn after the claim duel throughout. She held on gamely that day to defeat those 25 optional claimers going a mile. They're good recent claims. She does a great job. She's 24%. Edgar Perez riding in good form. Maybe that's the problem for Nitrous Channel, as you said.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, especially being outside. He just beat Giant Game, who ran well on Florida Curl and Florida Derby Day. Principe Dora was a favorite off the long layoff for Todd Pletcher. He's coming out of a very good race.
Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon, a mile and a 16th about distance on the Tapeta. Claim is fillies and mares, 4 and up, $10,000. We do have a jockey change here on the number 5. Make that rider Serenade Kitten. And Brian has a late pick 4 ticket who's going to show you right now.
Yeah, $30 on this ticket here. We'll go 5 deep in this race, so you can kind of see my confidence level or lack thereof in this spot here. An interior 2x2 double. I'm certainly with you with Carruthers. I'll take a little shot with Light Fury. In race number 9, 34 is the order. Claudette Air, but I can't not use baby steps with her speed for Jorge Delgado. And then we'll go 3 deep in the finale. 7, 9, 8 is the actual order. I'm coming right back, Ronnie. Papa Cats finally got it done last time. Let's see if he pops again.
Yeah, I threw that one on my Rainbow 6 in the last race when I went 4 deep because I thought maybe that horse can run well this afternoon. Getting back to race number 7, the number 2 Current Situation and Short Circuit. They hooked up last time. Let's go back. We'll pick it up from the 8th pole home when they run 1-2 in this race. So we'll see how it is. And Short Circuit is the number 8 horse you'll see there. And it's number 8. And we'll see Current Situation here. The 2 and the 8, and they're just going to come right down to the wire and run 1-2 in that race. I flip-flopped them a little bit. I just thought maybe I'd go the other way today, but I used both, right?
Yeah, and I think I'm using both as well. As you saw my late pick 4, I think they're clearly in the mix. I've got my long shot in here, so again, I'm stabbing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm stabbing a little bit, but both of your horses, as you just saw there, ran very, very well. I like the post for Current Situation, and I like his running style too. For her running style for this Tapeta route, you don't want to be on the lead, but there's nothing wrong with being relatively close.
Well, let's hear about this long shot. That's what I'm liking.
Well, Divine Exchange, we're going to, the stats, you know, as we get a little bit into the new year, the stats refresh themselves. So Fausto Gutierrez is 3 for 14 off the claim. Ronnie and I hit on this quite a bit last year. This was a guy that was in the upper 20s off the claim with a lot more sample size as well. Also a barn, long overdue to get rolling. I used him yesterday. Prudencio didn't run an inch. I'm coming back with him today. Divine Exchange has prior to Peter races that make her a player within this group. Maybe Fausto can get a little improvement. It's been a relatively popular horse at the claim box. We should get a square price. She's got to win here at the Tapeta. Taking a stab in a stab race.
Yeah, and Edgar, like you said, Edgar Perez in the saddle. What about Serenade Kid? You have a little higher rated than me. Posted a couple of really sharp efforts at this level on the Tapeta 2 and 3 races back. Goes back to the all-weather. Set the pace. I thought it was game to be 4th in that race against 16 claimers on the turf. She's going to be in the first flight.
Well, without a doubt, she's going to be in the first flight. We already showed you the stats sprinting on the Tapeta for Amador Sanchez. It's a barn that does very well with everything. Paco is getting aboard here. I would expect her to be on the lead. I put her in second because that's not necessarily the spot you want to be. They're going to know she's in here, though, that's for sure.
Well, very interesting with your long shot in race number 7. Let's go to race number 8 today. It's going to be about a mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. Starter allowance, 4-year-olds and up, started for 35 or less. Scratch the 3, cashier check in this race. And, Brian, you went with the number 6 here, Light Fury.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a stab with Rohan Crichton off the claim. That's 34%. We're going to go right to the Tapeta, though, too. And this is what I want you to do. You got to dig a little bit back in your past performances. But the last time he was on the Tapeta, back in December of 21, January of 22, he ran very, very well in one of them, okay in the other. You remember Yamato, right?
Yeah.
We still see him now.
Yeah.
Back at the time, he was one of the house horses that loved the Tapeta. Don't sleep on Light Fury.
Going to go with the number 9. Brian has in second. I have on top Carruthers. Going to try and make it 3 in a row. We have stepping up off the claim by Marty Drackler to defeat those 62,500 optional claimers going this distance on the Tapeta. I just think this horse can run very well in here today. And, you know, outside stalking trip, boy, whose barn has been going better than this?
Yeah, this horse should be 9-5 or 2-1 on the line. He's not 7-2. This is a class drop. He just beat tons better. Marty's got him in really, really good form. You just look at the last 2 Tapeta races. Okay, he was all out to win them both, but these were better groups, and he beat some of these horses anyway. He's going to be a real tough in here.
I got a little interest in the number 2, Iman, who's second on the Tapeta behind that repeat winner Therapist. 2 starts back, goes back to the all-weather after failing to get on track against those 75 optional claimers. Going 7.5 on the turf for Joe Asino, Samuel Camacho Jr. named to ride. I just keep going back to this horse for a little bit of a price.
Yeah, no doubt. And Therapist comes back and won the graded stakes Stakes on the Curlin Florida Derby undercard. He's 0 for 3 in the Tapeta. He has run second in all 3 of those starts. I still kind of feel Ronnie's a cup below.
Let's go to race number 9 this afternoon, and this one is 5 furlongs on the turf, an allowance optional claimer for state-bred fillies and mares, or the optional take of $20,000. Of course, 5 on the grass, and we've been talking about Claudette Air, and we've been talking about Baby Steps, so let's go to the 3/16 home when Baby Steps has the lead, and Claudette closes late to finish a nose behind her. Now, both of them were beaten by a horse in this race.
Yeah, Davis Rose is going to come and swoop them here, but this is a lot like the race Ron showed earlier. Who runs the better race? Well, here's Claudette Air. She's going to come and run down the Baby Steps. Baby Steps, look at 21:32, 44 flat, doing it all the hard way, and just gets nipped here at the line. Boy, did she run huge, Ron.
Yeah, she ran real well in that race, and I had to use both just because of what we just showed you.
Yeah, and by the way, in my note, the inside speed that Baby Steps dueled with, dead last.
Dead last.
Dead
wow. So very good. You know, and the rematch certainly should be fun to watch. I had some interest in the 2 musical designers making her first start since defeating $40,000 maiden optional claimers, going 5.5 on the Tapeta here in February. Wesley Ward, I think this is the only horse he started. It seemed like the championship meet. You know how good he is with this layoff. He's got Paco Lopez in the saddle.
Yeah, well, remember he ended the championship meet and the Rainbow with that horse that just hummed in race 11 last Sunday. This was also the last day he ran a horse, February 2nd at the championship meet. You know, you ignore this barn at your own peril. That is for sure.
He's got a 2-year-old in on Thursday, and that's right, Thursday. 2-year-olds. So he's got a horse in that first race of the season. Going to race number 10, about 5 on the Tapeta. Claimers 3 or 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life. 12-5 down to 10. Scratch the 10. Jockey on the 3 is Lionel Reyes. And we'll take it away with your horse, Papa Cats. I know you like this horse this afternoon.
You know, Ron, I'm getting a little creative here. Papa Cats is a horse that just burns so much money in his, career, but he finally did break through last time. He's going to be a decent price. I don't see any world beaters in here on the rise, and you've heard me, Ron, and even Samantha say a lot of times when these horses that struggle to break through finally do it, they can pop right back. Don't sleep on Papa Cats.
No, they do that, and it's amazing to see that. They sort of figure it out. Is the best way to explain it, I think. 5 Gone Nuts is cutting back to 5 furlongs after returning from that layoff to duel for the lead and finish third against this level, going 5.5. Here's Rohan Crichton again, and he's got Elsa Morrison in the saddle.
Yeah, Elsa working her way back after the knee injury. She had been out for quite some time. She's had a lot of live mounts over the course of the weekend, so this is another one.
And then number 9, Grand Valley, is dropping to the 12-5 level after returning from the layoff duel for the lead. Had a little trouble at the 3/16 pole when finishing 6th against 20 condition claimers. It's the son of Klimt. I think this is the logical spot for this horse.
Yeah, for sure. And as you mentioned with the trouble a little bit, and then you look at the race 2 back for 20, and that's the best effort anyone's got here.
Everybody knows Harry on the Beach. The number 8 seems to be in a run once a week, or at least it seems that way. Going to the Gerald Brooks barn after declaring, had some traffic at the quarter pole when finishing 5th behind Gone Nuts last time out. His current figures put him in the hunt here.
Yeah, the problem is when you have a running style like Harry's got, and that's when you got to pass basically the entire field. That's why you're 1 for 13 with 3 seconds in 3/3. Gerald Brooks got a work cut out for him to get over the hump.
Well, that's the 10 races so far, but we're not done. We've got, of course, our award-winning lightning round to come up next, and we're going to start it off with a horse that didn't win but still made the top of our program yesterday, Mary Quay Contrary, just ultra game second in the Grade 1 Madison. I mean, it's the Breeders' Cup winner in front of her,
Champion sprinter. It's not often we're going to show you a losing effort on the lightning round, but the 3 of us, Samantha included, we're all huddled up here yelling at the screen like we owned Mary.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, she ran, and I'm going to bet you beverage of choice she's going to win the ballerina this summer at Saratoga.
She ran great, and if you followed after, she just kept going in there. She was happy as can be. Her ears were flipping back.
Great job by Luca, too.
Luca and Panici, that's right. He went up to ride and was so happy they gave him the mount again.
Yep, and she acquitted herself very, very nicely, and we keep saying with her, everything the connections have asked her to do, she's done, and I know she didn't win yesterday, but she said to all these girls and a champion as well that I can fit right in nicely with you.
Well, practical move. Sister track at Santa Anita had it gutted out in the stretch, and just a good performance. So we'll take a quick look at that. And there she's a number 5 horse, I believe, in that race, and just gutting it to the wire. In between is that Japanese horse.
Yeah, and he ran huge as well. And on the first Saturday in May, you better take notice of them because they're coming. And game winner here, though, for practical move. Congratulations. Centerpiece out there at Santa Anita.
Your best bet today?
Best bet today is it's against your best bet.
Oh, that's
Starship
right.
Renegade.
Starship Renegade, and here is my best bet in that race. And of course, it's Nitrous Channel. We're going to be ding-donging our best bets this afternoon. Your long shot today.
Long shot is Fausto Gutierrez again. You only need one of these to pop, and that's Divine Exchange.
Yeah, I used that horse in race number 5, the first leg of the Rainbow Six. I don't know what price I'm going to get. I just like that horse this afternoon. Didn't know what I would possibly get on there. Today, right here at Gulfstream Park, if you're here today, you got to go have brunch, right?
I guess, yeah. Well, if you can get complimentary mimosas, I'm in.
Brian will be there. No, if they invite us, I guess we'll go, right? As I mentioned the other day, 2-year-olds, the first of the season on Thursday. So let's look at that field that we showed you this yesterday. I wanted to go back because it's the fun time of the year. And there you see it just going, nice full field of, and to kick off the season. And it's going to be so great. 2-year-olds in South Florida, that's what it's all about.
And you said WW's got one of those in there?
Yeah.
Wesley's got one?
Yeah, Wesley's got one in there. And I don't know which one it is right now, but he's got one in. And then they were drawing Friday's card. I got to see how many ended up in that. These are the fillies. There's the boys on Friday.
I'm going to guess that Wesley's got the 5 Quiver of Fear because that was the favorite on the morning line.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
You would think, favored.
You see it says there $120. I'm going to let Brian take this over because he was rooting a lot.
Lord Miles, how about this? Safi texted me after. I said, you got some karma because unfortunately White Abario scratched. Here's Lord Miles on the outside at 59-1. This is Aqueduct's Kentucky Derby qualifier. This is your Wood Memorial, folks. And as Ronnie and I said, midway on the morning show here today, this is another championship meet horse going out of town and winning a significant Kentucky Derby prep. Paco is up there. He's here today. 59-1. You'll see him next in the Run for the Roses.
Yeah, the Run for the Roses. And, there's if you can't beat Forte, all those horses we've seen run. So I think we got a little upper hand on maybe some people.
You'd like to think that. And it's just another, pat on the back to the horses that wintered here during the championship meet, taking their act on the road, which is a big deal, too, when you're talking about the Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday in May.
Over $100,000 already in the early pick 5 pool. Look at that super high 5, 4,600. I think that carried over from yesterday. Yeah. So lots of great action here on Easter Sunday. Come out and join us if you can. If you're watching this out there in the simulcast world, hey, have fun today.